communicators entering the public relations or public affairs position. They want to adhere to the highest ethical standards. Maybe they're a little lost about how to get started. What is your advice for them?
The most important thing that I think young people ought to do, as desperate as they may feel to find that first job and to succeed in the interview, ask good questions. Bring this into the discussion. Actually, the prospective employer likely will be very pleased that the applicant has considered these issues and thought enough to raise them in the course of the discussion. Ask whether or not the organization has ethical policies or ethical standards. In an agency environment, you might want to know, does the agency have an opt-out policy where the individual may feel that either the nature of the client work or the way the work is being conducted is not something that they're thoroughly comfortable with? Are they able to opt out without penalty from being engaged in that client work? That is something that we offer all of our professionals here at Stanton Communications. And once in a while it has come up where someone has said, you know, I really would prefer not to represent a particular interest that, you know, it goes against my political leanings or my orientation. It's rare, but nonetheless, they have that prerogative. And so that's a good question to ask in the course of the interview and explore, how does the organization deal with ethical challenges when they arise? And can the prospective employer give an example of something that may have come up and how they resolved it?
That would be very revealing, I think, for a candidate walking into this.
I think the other thing that young people probably feel sometimes is a tremendous sense of uncertainty about their own capabilities and their own confidence. They're coming out of school, they're coming into a new profession, they want to please, they want to do well, and yet it's critically important that they ask good questions. And so if they are in a work environment and something seems a little out of place, it's not improper to say, can you explain this to me? Help me to understand what this is all about. And if the answer is, well, just shut up and do your job, then that tells you something about the organization, the way they conduct their business. If, on the other hand, the manager or the senior executive can say, I'm glad you asked these questions. It's important that you do understand how we approach this. Here's what's at work. Then I think that helps a young professional learn, grow, develop their own ethical compass, and succeed in the profession.
And I think that we have professional groups that are here for seasoned communicators and young communicators, such as IABC and PRSA. And I was just checking out the new Public Relations Society of America's national site, and they have an entire web section on ethics with case studies, the code of ethics that we're all expected to adhere to as members, and just a myriad of resources. So I imagine there's a lot of online, if they need to do a little studying and kind of feel a little more confident in the ethics area, they can do that.
But in addition to that, young professionals are coming out of an academic environment where their professors and their counselors remain a resource to them even after graduation.
That's true.
And being able to go back to the professor to say, I'm looking at something that's going on and I'm a little bit challenged by it. I'm having some difficulty understanding. Might you be able to provide me some perspective?
You think a professor would welcome that kind of query?
Absolutely. In fact, some of the best professors in our field right now are people who have come out of the professional practice of public relations. I know several, in fact, and they have that background, they have that experience, they have that real-world judgment and dimension to be able to draw upon. But these days, the applicants that we see, I'm so excited about. It's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this profession. We have such a rich pool of talent. They are very enlightened. The internet has really helped them to become far more aware of the world around them. Many of them have an international perspective. they bring a good foundation with them. And just allowing themselves the confidence of knowing that they bring a lot to the table to begin with, their own moral compass, their own upbringing, their own good judgment, is what really will help them on a day-to-day basis in whatever work environment they ultimately find themselves.
Wonderful advice for young communicators. Thank you so much.